Hey, hello. Let's start with our first discovery activity for today. Okay, basically, the work you will have to do is to interface, discover some of the element from the program. Okay, you can work in team. I don't mind, as long as each of you at the end you have your own presentation. Okay. Um, Keep it also, okay, this presentation, so don't save it on the cyberspace, okay, but save it on a specific drive or USB key, because each week you're going to add and adjust your presentation in order to create a guide, okay, of your of PowerPoint. Okay, so we're doing it like that. Okay, instead of me speaking and showing and you browsing the web to see if you can get that nice pair of shoes. Once it's more dynamic, plus experience is a key with PowerPoint to become good and to learn in the same process. Okay, so we're going to cover the interface, some of the principle for good presentation, also the save and the print. Okay, good, perfect. The what you will have to do basically for the first slide, and more or less all the other also, okay, is that you will have to gather information. They can be textual, they can be visual. You're going to use a lot of copy paste, and sometimes you're going to write by yourself in PowerPoint. Okay, so one of the first thing you will have to do, for example, is to open PowerPoint. Okay, so on the desktop or with the start button, open PowerPoint to create picture of the interface. Okay, good for that. So take your little image, write your little step on the presentation. But what is the more important, it's this slide. Okay, so with this one, the work you will have to do is to take a big capture, okay, of the background, okay, of PowerPoint, and all the items you see on the left here, okay, are the element I would like you to identify on your slide. Okay, so you have an example on the right. You see an image, more or less, of PowerPoint, and then a person use zone text, okay, a box of text to be able to identify different element, okay, of the program. So you're going to do exactly the same, but with your own choice of color, etc., etc. Okay, the other slide, okay, regards the text. Okay, but at the same time, I use this opportunity to present you some advice, some element criteria of a good presentation. Okay, basically, people, they complain a lot about the elements you see on the left. Okay, and what we reckon also about what is a good presentation is what you're going to find on the right side, okay, on the right list. Okay, what is very, very, very important, okay, is to well, understand that you're working with a visual tool. It can be very, very interesting, stimulating, and all that, as well as very, very boring. Okay, so you have to make a right choice of tool, of word. You have to work also with an economy of word, very, very important. About your setting, the physical setting of your presentation. So for example, are you going to send it just so people can read it by on their own on their computer? Okay, or are you going to use a conference room to present your presentation? Are you going to be in a tribunal, for example? What is the setting of that tribunal? Have you ever been in the courtroom in Quebec, for example? Is it going to work? Do you have access to Wi-Fi, etc.? Do they use a TV or they use a real interactive board, for example, etc.? Okay, so you have to get all that information to choose the right thing to do with your presentation. If I'm building something to be sent by email and watch on a computer, I probably don't need to use a size 30 for the font. Okay, however, it may be necessary if I'm giving my presentation in a very big conference room at McGill University. Right? You see where I'm going with that. Okay, the other slide you will have to create, okay, is going to be based on a little demo I'm going to give you about how to print with PowerPoint. Okay, so this is something very annoying with PowerPoint. When it will print you basically blank page with a couple of words on it. So it's not really interesting. It's going to be more interesting, however, okay, to be able to print more than one slide per page. Okay, and maybe include also your comments, okay, your note of your presentation on that piece of paper. Okay, so we're going to see how it works, all this. Okay, you're going to take note and you're going to build on your slide about how to, okay, using PowerPoint. Okay, the last slide here, okay, is just, okay, to give you a kind of can I say that, a step by step or a table of content of everything, okay, you need to have inside your presentation, slide per slide. Okay, each thing you see in blue and underline are hyperlinks. Okay, so you just have to click, okay, to visit the page. Okay, and here you have another arrow in the corner. Okay, you just have to click on it to come back to that table of content at the end to be able to go on with the next task. Okay, so don't forget, you save your presentation, you send it electronically with Leah, but you also do a print. I would like you to print 2 or 3 slides per page. Okay, and you hand me a copy at the end. Write your name manually on the presentation, or if you know already to use the header and footer inside PowerPoint, you can use the zone also, okay, to write your information. Good, perfect. So go on, people, at work, and if you have any question, raise your hand. I'm around.